We were just sitting here in the studio talking about Zach Wilson and Mac Jones and Sam Darnold and some of these other, these quarterbacks who, for Mac, who needed a hug, for Zach, you just don't know how the kid stands up every day after the beating he took from the New York media. Where do you think these kids should land?
Well, I know what I would do if I were Zach Wilson and I were his agent. I would campaign to get with Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel, Andy Reid. I would want to get with people, even if I'm Zach Wilson, I would say, you can pay me minimum and you can make me the third stringer. I just want to be here for the next couple of years and learn everything about being an NFL quarterback. That's what, if I were any of the people you just mentioned, that's what I want to do. But particularly Zach Wilson, who I think is one of those guys who just needs to be for a while. And we need to find out whether one day maybe he would be able to be a great quarterback. Look, I had a stat in my column, Suzy, maybe about a month ago about Trey Lance. And I said, Patrick Mahomes threw more passes this year than Trey Lance has thrown combined in the last 7 years, which includes his senior year at Marshall High School in Minnesota. There's a reason why Trey Lance has failed to this point. And that's because he's so incredibly young and inexperienced in the job. And look, I think he's in a pretty good place right now in Dallas. And Mike McCarthy's very fundamentally sound. But all of those guys, they need to get somewhere and train under brilliant coaches, in my opinion.
Bill Belichick, what do the next 5 years look like for him?
Great question. I would think, Suzy, as you know, I've told the world this, that Rich Eisen had the best line about Bill Belichick this year. He and Nick Saban ought to do exactly what Peyton and Eli do. And instead of the Manning cast, it should be the coach cast. Rich, and, what would be great on that, honestly, I doubt he could do it. I'd love to see Rich sitting in the middle of them and just have them on for a game. Maybe, maybe CBS or Paramount Plus or Peacock or somebody. They do one game a weekend and they do it on a streaming service. Who knows? Maybe
Roku,
it's
are you listening, guys? Great idea, Peter. Great idea.
Yeah. I love the idea. And I think Bill Belichick needs to rehab his image a little bit. I think the fact that he got one interview out of 7 openings, not including New England, is a disgrace, in my opinion. If I were Josh Harris in Washington, I have no idea why he wouldn't have wanted to sit in a room with Bill Belichick for 4 hours, downloading his brain about what he should do with his head coaching job, even if he were to decide that he didn't want to hire Belichick.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.